Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, which of course is going to release in 2018, probably spring / early summer. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts first on the official Walking Dead Twitter account, Skybound's Walking Dead, calling Season 4 incredible. And as per usual, I'll put the link in the description to comicbook.com so you guys can go ahead and check this one out. So this one comes in via the official Twitter account for The Walking Dead, Skybound's Walking Dead. So that would be the original Walking Dead, which would be the Walking Dead comic book series main account. But of course, Robert Kirkman and, you know, his team, Skybound, is heavily involved still with the Walking Dead TV series, even though there's a lawsuit and stuff. Fear the Walking Dead, you know, as well as all the other series that they do. Comic books, Invincible movie coming out, so they got a lot of stuff on the go. But they're saying here that Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, the Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead is going to be incredible, The Walking Dead wrote. Just saying. So the show is set to collide with The Walking Dead for the first time, as Morgan Jones will continue his story on the sibling series in the aftermath of All Out War in The Walking Dead Season 8. So it's going to cross over between the two, and then it goes into a little bit of detail between the idea to have Morgan springboard into Fear the Walking Dead, how that's going to work, and then Morgan, well, as far as, you know, what we know right now, because of course there's a couple theories that are, you know, competing right now for what timeline is that one's gonna be at, and how that's gonna kind of sync up between the shows. So we're gonna have to still wait and see. You know, there's no definitive answer on that one yet, whether or not it's going to be a sequel capacity, which is what most sites seem to think it's going to be. Most sites seem to say that Morgan is going to leave the original series, and then after the events of All Out War, you know, Fear will catch up to his timeline for the two to cross over. So that's what I'm seeing from most sites, even though, you know, on first kind of, you know, the first idea I had of it was that it would be a prequel with Morgan earlier on in the series meeting the Fear group at an earlier time in the zombie apocalypse. So it would be kind of a flashback type, a prequel type of sequence in there before the events of All Out War and all the stuff we're seeing later on. I think the determining factor, we'll find out for sure 100% in the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8, whether or not Morgan survives out this season, whether or not he's killed off at the end of All Out War, or if he survives and then decides to leave. I think that will be a clear answer for us of which one, you know, which way they're going to go with this. But he did mention that he gets really messed up, James said, of the remaining Season 8 journey. That's about as much as I can say. He said he found out quite early on. I found out maybe a month into the shooting of Season 8, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks into it. Scott Gimple gave me a call and asked me to come around, and he pitched the possibility, and it took a lot talking. A lot of talking. So it's pretty cool, man. It's a pretty cool concept. It's a pretty cool idea. It sounds like Skybound or The Walking Dead has kind of heard about what they're going to... Well, I would think that Robert Kirkman would know 100%, because he was also, you know, and Skybound was involved with the development of Fear as well, too. You know, he had a hand in creating Fear the Walking Dead as well. He's credited in the show, and Dave Erickson, of course, was kind of the main guy for that, but we have Scott Gimple for The Walking Dead, and then, of course, Robert Kirkman, you know, his comic book series, obviously, is where all of this stuff starts from, so him being an influence in everything else, and then having kind of a main man, so to speak, for The Walking Dead, having one for Fear. Now we have a couple, and then we have Scott Gimple as executive producer for Fear, and Lenny James coming to Fear. So, you know, so it's going to be really cool. So it sounds like they've kind of seen some of it, maybe seen a premiere episode, or kind of are seeing how things are turning out, and it sounds like they're going to be really good. I had to blow my nose there. Allergies, man. Freaking. So I am pretty excited for this one. I mean, I might be as excited, if not more excited, for this than I even am for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8. I mean, it's probably the biggest thing right now, because for Walking Dead, even going into this back half, even the finale for All Out War should be awesome. But getting to see how this Fear the Walking Dead crossover thing works is really great, too, because, of course, 2018, there's no Game of Thrones. If you guys didn't know that, Game of Thrones will not be airing this year coming up. It's going to be 2019, so there's going to be absolutely nothing on during the summer. which is where, I'm really happy to have Fear the Walking Dead, because they're going to bring Fear for us. We're going to get another 8 episodes of The Walking Dead, to wrap up season 8. And then we're going to get to see Fear, which some people right now are enjoying Fear a lot more than the original series, with Fear kind of concentrating on a smaller group of characters earlier on in the zombie apocalypse. How that's going to work with Morgan crossing over between the shows, either as prequel or sequel. This might be the thing I'm most excited for, for Walking Dead right now going into 2018. Well, that and the final kind of battle, to see how epic the TV series version of the battle is between, Rick and Negan. And if you guys missed it yesterday, I did a video on my response to The Walking Dead sucks now. People are pretty torn on that one too. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Watch the video. I'll put it in the end videos for you guys here. Some people are like, really adamant The Walking Dead does suck now compared to prior seasons. So that's cool. Of course, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Other people are like, stop hating on The Walking Dead. Walking Dead's awesome. It's always been awesome. And, you're just trolling for no reason. So, it's kind of one of those. You can kind of choose your own opinion, right? Everybody's got their own kind of idea. Some people are absolutely adamant that it definitely sucks and there's no way around it. And that's how it is. And then you have the other people that are exactly the opposite, are like, no, it doesn't suck. It's still the biggest show on cable, and as far as like drama series go, and it's still killing it. So everybody's where they're at, and I don't think anybody's right or wrong in this debate. I think that's kind of subjective. But, personally, I'm just still enjoying the show, enjoying the series, and looking forward to the finale for All Out War, and definitely for Fear the Walking Dead this year. Because after Season 3 of Fear was so impressive, and it was so surprising that, you have people saying, I did a video on this one too, near the end of this year, just before Christmas there, comparing The Walking Dead in 2017 versus Fear in 2017, and comicbook.com had Fear being better than The Walking Dead in 2017. So that would be like Season 3 of Fear being better than second half of Season 7 and first half of Season 8. Well, kind of crazy, but if you're going this year in 2018 with Morgan leaving The Walking Dead and then going into Fear, let's see what that looks like. It's kind of like Fear's getting a great character, a one-up, and then The Walking Dead might be losing, or is probably going to lose Morgan either way, whether they kill him or whether he leaves. And then crosses into the other series. It's really going to help, I think, boost Fear up even more than Season 3 did, and really give a lot of people a reason to check it out. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this, and let's see how it turns out, guys. It's one of the most anticipated things for this year with TV series, especially since the summer is going to be, a little light without Game of Thrones on. So Fear, come on, Fear, let's go. Bring us a lot of good episodes. Lenny James, come on, do your thing, man. Show us your clear mode, go into clear mode a little bit, and then maybe come back a little bit, all that good stuff. So Jay Moore says, Trev, are you planning on doing death predictions for the second half of this season? Those are my favorite videos of yours. Keep up the great work. So for Jay, absolutely, Jay, I'll get that done for you pretty soon, probably within the next couple of weeks. So death predictions for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8 for sure. And maybe I'll do one for Fear as well now too, because Fear is just, it's so exciting right now this year to see what they're going to do with this. And also, because you're giving the show to new showrunners, it's going to have a different feel to it too, right? Like if you guys remember, look at the feel for The Walking Dead from Season 1 to 1.5. So Season 1 to the first half end of Season 2. And then after that, so it's Frank Darabont show running, and then you have Glenn Mazzara show running from the second half of Season 2 into Season 3 with kind of his crazy, fast-paced, people everywhere, survivors all over the place kind of vision. So they have the different visions. Frank Darabont had his, Glenn Mazzara had his, and then Scott Gimple has his. And kind of each the way they do it, it's kind of reinvents the show in a way. So giving Fear over to someone else, Dave Erickson passing it on, it's going to be cool to see what the new team has for us, the new showrunners have for us this season, and how it feels. Like, what kind of feel is the show going to have? Is it going to feel like Fear Season 3, Season 2? Is it going to feel like The Walking Dead original series? Is it going to be totally new? And that's kind of what I think we'll probably see as something totally in the new. And that's exciting to see just how that turns out, what that looks like. So ACH92 says, Trev, this is a safe space. Just let it out. Definitely the right decision. The series is needed to move away from the comics for a while. So for Killing Carl, he says, it's okay, just let it out. It's safe. It's okay to say you like it, and maybe, like, for some other people, too, some of the guys on this side of the Walking Dead sucks camp, they're like, it's okay, Trev, you can just say it sucks. We know that, we know you think it sucks. It's like, I don't think it sucks, you know what I mean? So I'm telling you what I do think, and I'm being honest about it, and I'm trying to be optimistic about the show. I'm trying to be positive, because I like to do that. I don't like to be negative about things I like, Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you lose interest in something, and I see that if some people are definitely losing a little bit of interest with The Walking Dead. But I would just say, try to be patient. Let's wait for Fear. Let's wait for the second half of Season 8 and see how it goes. But again, Game of Thrones has taken a whole year off this year to get everything just right before they release it, right? So The Walking Dead has always been there for us. Every year it's had a new 16 episodes, boom, every year, boom, 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 8 years straight now. So, like, that's the way I would think of it too, is like some people think like maybe they should take a year off and kind of get back together, rewrite, and, spend a year to replan the show and then go. It's like, yeah, but you really want to go a whole year with them not doing any Walking Dead and then coming back after that? It's like, which is basically what Game of Thrones is doing, taking a year off to do their editing and CG and all that stuff to make sure it's done right, and then release it later. I kind of look forward to it every year. I kind of want to see it. It'd be cool to have, kind of careful quality, put out there for us, where they could take an extra year off. But, I mean, it's kind of a letdown for fans, too, because now it's 2018. I really want to see some Game of Thrones, but we can't because they're, they got to wrap up the whole thing, and it's going to be a lot of work for them to do with the type of quality that they want to do it. So, I mean, it's what it is. It's a trade-off, quality versus quantity. They fight against each other. Like some people say, like, if they did 10 episodes of The Walking Dead a year, maybe it'd be better if they did it that way. And I'm sure those 10 would turn out better than 16 could turn out in terms of, like, 1 to 10 out of 16 versus 1 to 10, and that's it. That's all they have to focus on. So, of course, I would think that it would. But personally, I like to get the 16 episodes. I really enjoy it, and I think that they're packing in a lot of characters. They're doing a lot of things with it, doing the best they can with it. And that, for me, I'm happy with that. But there's even people complaining about the Walking Dead comic book series, too, that it's getting repetitive, or it's not original enough, or that it's too cartoony. Everybody's got their own, their own kind of thing, and that's what it is. So I hope you guys understand that I am being straightforward with you and honest with you. It's just that I'm not really, I don't really hate, you know what I mean? I've seen people with that kind of attitude, especially like in the workplace and stuff. I appreciate what I have. Like, I've been in the same company 10 years now. You can't do that if you're somebody who's just like, going to hate on your job and look at everything that's bad with your job and just be like, oh, this boss, whatever, that guy's mean to me, this whatever, this customer, this yells at me, whatever. I hate this job. I want to get out of here. You can look at things that way, or you can choose to try to be as positive as you can and, find the good things in what you're doing and try to enjoy it. And that's how I've been with the same company 10 years overtime. You know what I mean? You do overtime, you do 10 years straight, never take any time off, nothing like that. This channel, right? This channel I've been doing, this is 8 years, dudes. This is 8 years I've been doing this for, right? So every day, almost never taking a day off, 7 days a week, 8 years. That's how I did that, is because I try to be positive, even if sometimes things are not, you got to try. And, that's the part of being happy. I feel like in life, you got to put the effort in too. You can allow yourself to slip into negativity and just feel like, oh, everything sucks, blah, blah, blah. It's the wintertime, my vitamin D's too low, and I'm just like depressed and shit. That's easy. It's harder to kind of, try to see the good in things and try to, work hard and live that kind of life instead. But definitely that kind of a life is going to be more rewarding and it's going to make you happier than just allowing yourself to be like, yep, it's true, everything sucks. Life sucks, and then you die. That's it. It's true. You can't tell me otherwise. That's how it is. It's what it is, right? So it's a philosophy. It's a state of mind. And, the way I like to look at it is that, the brain didn't evolve the way it did, It mainly evolved the way it did for survival, for, based on our environment, the things that we were going through, the struggles we were having. So a lot of your thinking, if you think too much, sometimes you start getting pretty negative with your thoughts, because that's all about survival. It's like, who's going to get me? Is fear-based. Is this going to get me? Is this going to get me? What's going to get me next? I'm going to start for this or for that. Boom, 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 boom. So you can get your mind going into that negativity very easily. That's just, that's like a default. It's harder to fight against that and try to be positive about things and try to see the good in things. Whatever they may be, whether it be, even entertainment or career or what have you. Sometimes it's hard, but you gotta fight for it, right? If you want to survive, you gotta fight for it. I'm talking about fight. right here, right now. Oh, there's my shade quote. Okay, let's wrap it up. One last one will come from Komodo K1ng, who says, Trev Q&A, I still think this is ridiculous with Carl. This changes the whole story of The Walking Dead, and it's not for the good of the show, in my opinion. You say the kid from the kingdom is going to be his replacement, but it's just not the same. Who knows if we'll even get a Lydia now. Keeping Carl alive was always Rick's motivation to keep going, but I guess that'll be filled now by Judith. The showrunner was fired after season 3 for the whole Andrea fiasco. Well, now I want Gimple out. That came out of nowhere, right? I always tried to defend Gimple, but this death is an irresponsible handling of power. So, I'm even sad about it, is that like everybody get your pitchforks and your and it's like restore the castle, right? Riot. I'm even sad about the death. Just pissed off. Thanks for all you do. So for Komodo K1ng, that's really funny, man. It's what it is. I think that sometimes, Gimple's job, Gimple's got to be the bad guy sometimes, right? Right now, he's definitely the bad guy to kill Carl off. Some people think it was a great thing for the show. ACH says it's an awesome decision. The series is going to be more original, move away from the comics. So, again, it's whichever way you want to look at it. It definitely does worry me about the future of some of these storylines with the Whispers and some of the other things. What are they going to do? Carl's dead now. What's going to happen, right? It's crazy. It's like, what are they going to do, man? So, we'll have to see, but I would most likely think that if he didn't have some kind of good plan for it, and if he didn't have some really good reason for it, he wouldn't have done it. I mean, it's a huge character death. We're going to have to see how the next episode plays out and how this feels in the back half of the season, and just like how this all works. But it's a big kill off, and you got to question, is it worth it to kill him off to get some other kind of payoff? You're killing off one of the biggest characters in the show, and someone who a lot of people regarded as the future of the show, right? As the future of the series. So it's really crazy if you want to talk Andrea fiasco. Maybe this is even bigger. I mean, you didn't have 60,000 people signing a petition to fire the dude that made the call. Like we're seeing right now after the Carl things. So it's really crazy stuff. And, again, for me, it's like, I'm not going to be overly optimistic either. I do have my concerns about killing Carl off and my worries about it. But at the same time, it's like we got to see where they're going with it first before we can really like look at what they did. Andrea's killed off, but then you have Michonne who's there for Rick, and it fits almost too well. It's almost weird. I almost think like the comics might eventually kind of twist to kind of go the same route or something. So we're gonna have to see how it goes. And I hear what you're saying. I definitely know a lot of people are pissed off right now after seeing that happen, but we'll see what they do next. We'll see which direction they go with in the series. If it is going to be Henry from the Kingdom who replaces him for his lines and that. If it's somebody else, whatever they do, we'll see how it turns out. I think no matter what they were going to do, Carl in the TV series was probably never going to feel the same way as the comic book Carl at this point. I just don't. I think maybe that whole idea is too far gone, too far lost. Because last season, when he goes after Negan with the with the machine gun and all that kind of stuff, it's okay, like it's a little badass, but it's not like the comic version. It doesn't feel this. It doesn't have the same feeling at all for me. So I don't know. Pros and cons, right, to every decision. So let me know what you guys think. Write your comments below. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. And you can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev. And I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.